AMQ, you're the first person I see. Can you hear and see me okay? We're all good? Okay, super. Well, I'm not going to waste time, you guys. We are going to dive in. I'm super pumped. We have almost 49, almost 50 people on here tonight, which is awesome. So we were, humming and hawing about our Diamond Date Night, and we had this idea, and we're like, you know what? Let's just invite all our teams, all our business building coaches, right? I don't know about you guys, but I think that's why I like National Wake Up Calls so much and podcasts so much, is because it's not necessarily the content, it's just hearing the stories, right? It's hearing where somebody started to where they are now. Because then once you hear that, you're like, oh, okay, if I can do that, is Morgan a robot for anyone else? You can hear me and see me okay, guys? Yeah? Okay. Maybe it's their internet. When I can hear somebody else's story, it's just like, yeah, okay, if they can do it, maybe I can too. So tonight I chatted with Virginia, Nicole, and Kirsten, 3 of the top coaches on our team. And I just asked them, could you just share your guys' story? Like, where did you guys start? And how did you get to, where you are now? Because you'll probably find that they're probably the 3 most normal people you'll ever meet, right? So I am going to hand it over right now. Maybe Virginia wants to kick it off if she wants. If not, Kirsten or Nicole can kick it off too. Totally up to you, but I'm going to hand it over to one of you guys. Just unmute yourself first.
All right. Hey guys, I was just posting on my Instagram story that I hate public speaking and I still get nervous to talk on every single call when I talk on calls. So yeah, like Morgan said, completely normal person. Shoot, I can't believe it's been this long. I feel like it was like yesterday that Morgan randomly added me on Facebook and I was like, who's this girl? But instantly I just fell in love with her posts, and I was like the ideal customer to coach. I joined a challenge group and signed up a week after our first week, and I just dove into this business, you guys. And I was busy. I could have made excuses, but I absolutely fell in love with Beachbody. And so really, that's what I want to talk to you guys about too, is just your unwavering belief in Beachbody. So I started when I was in pharmacy school, like I said. I had exams, I had tests, I was studying. I had all these excuses that I couldn't live a healthy lifestyle. And until I stumbled upon Beachbody was when I, made the decision that, you know what, I can meal prep. I can do these workouts. I can commit to Beachbody. I can do this business and put an hour in. I watched one of Lindsay Matway's video, like when I first signed up as a coach, and I heard her story, and she has a pretty crazy story. She was I think it was $400,000 in debt. And, so she had this huge, amazing why. But I saw her income growth and I saw her make this business work. And I just thought, why not me? She seems like a normal person. She looks super pretty and cool and awesome, but I'm pretty sure I can do this too. And I had saw what Morgan was doing. And so that was my mindset from the very beginning, was why not me? And so right off the bat, I feel like I had just this unwavering belief that I was going to be successful at this. Of course, there's times that doubt creeps in and you wonder if you're going to be successful or if this is even for you. But that's what personal development is for, you guys. I swear, this business is so mental. And I absolutely love working with Kirsten all the time because, we snap each other back and we say, go out there and invite. This isn't a hard business, you guys. Hard stuff is trying to sell pharmaceutical products when in the back of your mind that these aren't even going to help the patient really. Stuff like that is hard. And that was from, I don't know how to say her name, C. Stanford. I heard her story about selling pharmaceutical products to people when in the back of your head there's something that's actually cheaper. Imagine having to do that for your job. We have the most amazing job ever, you guys. We get to promote living a healthy lifestyle. we get to make sure that we are in a healthy and positive mindset, and we're living the best life ever. This is an amazing job, you guys. Okay, let me go to some of my notes here. Oh, okay, so another topic I wanted to cover was, obviously mindset is like my big topic, but I want to say that your energy and your vibe is what you're going to attract. So even though sometimes you're going to be nervous and scared, you need to make sure that you somehow find that confidence inside of you. And if you guys know me, like, I absolutely hate speaking and I hate doing all this stuff, but I've made the decision that I'm going to be excited because I love Beachbody and I can easily share my passion. Sorry, Bruce is at the door. I need to let him in. So you need to express that passion. You need to get on social media. You need to go live, get out of your comfort zone, go on Instagram stories, and do all these things that scare the crap out of you, because that's going to make you better. That's going to make you an amazing coach. Another thing I was going to talk to you guys about is committing 110% to Beachbody and this journey. I need you guys to commit to Shakeology, commit to these workout programs. And you hear this all the time, but it's so, so true. Commit to learning, go to YouTube, be proactive. You don't need your coach, you guys. So many coaches have been amazing and they actually had no upline. They learned this on their own. So I know when I signed up, I was like obsessed because I loved it. And I was like, this is so cool. This is amazing. And I just started diving in on my own. I started watching 1,000,001 YouTube videos, learning the ins and outs of the business. That stuff's important too. How you make money, how you make team cycle bonuses. Right off the bat, you may not make, well, you're not going to make quarterly bonuses, but I researched it and I was like, okay, like, you know, maybe two years in, 3 years in, I'm going to be making those quarterly bonuses that are like $3,000 and $10,000. And I put that up on my vision board, and now it's almost 4 years and I'm finally starting to get some of these quarterly bonuses. And I'm like, this is amazing because this is what I envisioned from the beginning. So I know like the first month, the second month, third month, the first year, the first 2 years, you're like, you can just be on this roller coaster up and down. People are going to quit. People are going to sign up and say they want to do this, and then they're going to be nowhere to be found. And that's totally normal, you guys. You have no idea how many people I have had sign up and then quit, or like sign up and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to be amazing. And then she doesn't do anything. And like, it's all of these emotions, but I promise you, you will find people like you that want to work this business as long as you continue doing what you're doing. You have to be consistent. You have to be on social media. You have to do the things we tell you to do. I promise we're not crazy and just telling you guys to do this stuff. So I'm kind of all over the place here, but you have to see the big picture and you have to see the longevity in this opportunity. And that's why I absolutely love listening to national wake-up calls, hearing from coaches that have been in the business 6-7 years, and you're like, dang, they stuck it out. I'm sure there's months where Success Club was such a struggle for them, but they are still here, and it's so worth it. I can't even fathom what my life would be like right now. I would be working in a pharmacy. Pharmacy hours are usually like 9 to 10 in the States, Monday through Sunday. So I'd have random hours. I would be working super hard. And I feel like pharmacists don't get paid enough for what they do. They have to deal with patients and people yelling at them all the time. And it's stressful, and you have to worry in the back of your head if you're making a little mistake with a decimal point and all these crazy things, and it's stressful, you guys. And when I was on rotations and I was just comparing the two, like coaching, being at home, talking to people on the internet, calling people, doing team calls, versus this stressful life where you're stuck there. You have to make sure to ask for time off. You have to make sure to book off time. I remember even just in the summer when I would work as a student, I would literally get anxiety trying to ask for a weekend off for a wedding or a weekend off to go do something with my friends. I absolutely hated that feeling, and I'm sure some of you guys can relate. And now being able to take your business with you. So what if you still have work to do? You can wake up and do an hour or 2 hours of Beachbody work in the morning while you're traveling. You can do it from anywhere. You really can, take a day off and just make sure to put all that work in 30 minutes. Like, the two worlds are just so different, and coaching just outweighs it by so much. So I know a lot of people on this call have probably just been a coach for, maybe a couple months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. But you guys need to see the longevity in coaching. I promise you it will pay off. Put in the work. I'm just going to be honest, you're not going to be successful if you don't put in the work. Just like anything in this life, you have to put in the work to be successful. No matter what you're doing. I had to go to pharmacy school. I had to show up. I had to do the tests. I had to go on rotations. I had to be out of my element and feel uncomfortable. But I finally reached a destination after 7 freaking years. Imagine Beachbody after 7 years, you guys. So it blows my mind when, people sign up right away, and right away they're like, I don't know if this is for me. I'm like, girl, you haven't even gotten started. Like, you're insane. You need to give this time. You need to give it a year, 2 years. It's like going to school, or starting a new job. The first week, you don't know how to do anything. I remember going on rotations. We would be there for 4 weeks. I would get anxiety every first day because it's a whole new system. You have to learn everything. You don't know all the people. It's awkward. And that's totally how coaching is in the beginning. You're overwhelmed. There's a lot of new stuff, but it just takes time. And by the end of my rotation, by week 4, I was like, okay, I know how to do this stuff. I know where I am. I'm going to type this. I'm going to talk to this person. I know Joe. I know Bob. I know everyone's names. So it's just like anything in life. You're going to get more natural at it. You're going to get better at it. And shoot, you're going to continue to learn, and you're just going to master your craft, you guys. I'm about to be at year 4, which just like blows my mind. It's going to go by so fast. So you might as well put your heart and soul into coaching, and you guys are absolutely going to rock it. Make sure you believe in yourself and believe in this business and believe where you can go with this business. So I'm going to pass it over to, I don't know, who wants to go? Kirsten, go. I can't see you, but you're going.
All right. Thanks for that, Jen. And you're so right. Enthusiasm in this business is everything. Absolutely everything. If you're not enthusiastic, if you're not excited, nothing works. Nothing works. So I wrote notes too, and I'm going to put a timer on because I will talk for an hour and a half. So timer is going on right now. So my theme since Summit has been a little less talk and a lot more action, because I got caught up in analysis paralysis, that comparison game, and I did a lot of watching YouTube videos, learning a ton, implementing nothing. And I feel like if there's anything I've learned over these 3 years, it's that the people that do more and make more mistakes are the successful people. So you truly don't need another training group. You truly do not need any of that. You need action. You need to take action in everything that you do. So one of the things that when I first started, I really wasn't into the business per se, but my initial results definitely sold a lot of challenge packs because I committed to the program. I committed to the product. I shared my journey openly. So a lot of my warm market rushed in. So I was like, oh, this is simple. My warm market really wants to join me. But then your warm market ends up fizzling out over time, right? Those people end up, well, they've already got their challenge pack. They're set up. So now what? I have to talk to strangers. I have to add strangers to my Facebook page. Like, okay, that was uncomfortable. But I told myself, I'm going to get my Beachbody degree. I'm going to put in 4 years. And if after 4 years, I'm not making the income that I want to, I can screw off. I can go walk away, but I have to put in the effort. Just like with any degree, with any, certificate, with any education, you got to put in effort if you want to graduate. So I thought, okay, I'm going to give it 4 years. And the first year was kind of, when you first get to college, you're like, oh, well, yeah, this is a good time. Like, I'm going to put in a little bit of effort. Like, I'll show up every now and then, but like, I'm probably going to go out for drinks with the girls. And that kind of was my first year of coaching, kind of half-assing it, half-ass effort, half-ass results. I was making enough income to cover my Shakeology, get my nails done and stuff, but not enough to really drastically change my life in a way that I didn't know I actually wanted. So making a few $100s here and there. Income grew. And then after, I think it was month 9, it was in December, I didn't hit Success Club. It was the first, and I actually remember having this conversation with Morgan. I'm like, I'm not sure this is for me. Like, this is not, I don't know if I'm good at it. And she was basically just said like, well, what are you doing? Like, let's just break this down. And I was like, nothing, I guess. I'm not really doing much of anything. I'm hoping people come to me, and that just wasn't going to work. And looking back now, it's really easy for me to say that was foolish. And I hope I can share that message to all of you, that a little less talk and a lot more action. Do, make mistakes and be okay with getting messy. And one of the things I learned really early on was being okay with not making a bucket of cash, because if you're truly in this as an entrepreneur, if you're truly in this for the long term, you want to be making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week, just like most entrepreneurs. Like anyone starting up a business, the lucky thing for us is we don't have a massive investment when we start. We're not in the hole for 4 years. We start at zero and work our way up, which is a blessing. If any of you own your own businesses, or your parents own your own businesses, you know that that is a huge blessing in the entrepreneurial world, to start at zero. So basically being okay with working your ass off for pennies on the dollar when you start, knowing that this will have a compound effect. The people that I'm talking to today, the behaviors that I'm doing are going to compound, and eventually this will all pay off. So you have to remember that, and you have to get comfortable with that idea. Because if we were to tell you that week 1, week 2, week 3, you're going to be rolling in the dough, I sure as hell wasn't. So I'm not going to tell anyone that that's the case. I wasn't rolling in the dough. I'm not even sure I am still. I'm making enough money that I can comfortably, I could retire from dental hygiene if I want to. That's what I consider successful. No, I'm not going to go buy a Louis Vuitton bag right away. But I do feel like I'm in a place where I'm financially free. So your effort will equal your results. And you just have to be aware of that at all times. If you're feeling shitty, you're feeling like, oh man, this month is hard, take a step back, look at your calendar. What have you done this past month to grow your business? And just have that real talk with yourself. Because sometimes I know Jen and I will do the same thing. I'll be like, even at Summit, we were both like, shit, like it's like the middle of the month and we're like at Success Club 2, Success Club 4. And we were both just like pumping each other up. Like, okay, what do we got to do? What do we got to do? We got to talk to people. We got to talk to people. And that whole week we were there, we were talking to people. And now, Jen, you're at Success Club 20 now, 18, 20, and I'm at Success Club, or you're more now? Yeah. 10? Oh, well, I thought you were at 20. Anyways, whatever. So anyways, we hit Success Club because we shook our heads. We realized, okay, what were we doing before this? We were busy. We were both kind of on the road and traveling and with family, and we just knew we kind of dropped the ball. So you have to be really, really cognizant of your behaviors in this business. If you don't talk to people, you won't grow. Write that down. If you do not talk to people, you will not grow. And I know that it's uncomfortable, but you're an entrepreneur now. You want to be a top coach. You want to make a couple grand a week. Get uncomfortable. Be okay with that. Be okay with getting uncomfortable, because you know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? Ultimately, you're not face to face. They're not going to throw a punch. What's going to happen is they are going to say no. Okay, moving on. Because if you've been doing this long enough, you know darn well that that no is not no forever. That no means no right now, but maybe down the road, they'll turn into your customers. A lot of my year 1 people that said no, year 3 are saying yes. And I've been following you. You're consistent. Your journey has inspired me. You've never given up. I want to be a part of that. So that matters. Your hustle must match your goal. So your dreams, your ambitions, your enthusiasm has to match your end game. If your end game is to stay at home with your kids, you've got to bust your ass. If your end game is to pay off massive credit card debt or student loans, your hustle has to match that goal. You have that enthusiasm. Imagine how excited you would be to see that $0 on your balance. You don't have anything left. You've paid it off, that excitement. Start each morning with that same excitement and you will succeed. It's not about if you're creative, or if you take the best photos or you take the best selfies. It's about how much heart and effort you put into your business every single day. And for me, honestly, I started off as a full-time dental hygienist, and it bothered me that I had an income ceiling, that no matter how good of a clinician I was, no matter how much my patients requested to see me and only me, and how my schedule was full and how much income I brought into the practice, I make as much as a hygienist with 25 years experience. And that's bullshit. personally. And I think that that's not okay. And not that I don't like what I do. I love my patients, but I know that I have so much more potential in this space, in this industry. And I know that I have what it takes to be the breadwinner or to bring home more money to fuel our vacations, to fuel our travel bug, to do renos on our home. I don't want to feel like I can't do any more. I don't want to feel stuck in this position. And I do dental hygiene still a couple days a week, simply to keep my license active. But come 2018, I'm not sure that will be the case. I'm going to keep practicing for 2017. But my goal is matching my hustle. So stay tuned. And then, so belief is the other thing I wanted to talk about. If you do not believe in yourself, this will not work. You need to believe in yourself today. And if you're not able to wake up and say, I believe wholeheartedly in myself, in this business, in my team, in this challenge group, in this program, pick up a personal development book and fix that. I was so resistant to personal development. I remember Morgan talking about trainings and she's like, what personal development are you doing? And be like, I'd like pick up a book and be like, I'm doing the compound effect. Like I hadn't read it, but I was like, oh yeah, like I'm doing this one. She's like, oh, like what's the best part about it? Like, how do you like it? I'm like, shit, I actually haven't read it. So it took me a long time. And I struggled a long time with worrying about what people thought of me on social media. I was worried about being judged and made fun of by Alex's friends, my family. Some of my own family was like hassling me and making me feel like shit in person too. And I was like, really struggling with my identity in this business and really owning it. Because when they would make fun of me or approach me, I'd brush it off like, oh yeah, like it's just this thing I do. It's fun. Like I make some money on the side. And now I'm like, oh God, come at me, bro. Like come at me. Make fun of me now. I dare you. I have a whole mouthful I'd love to share with you. So, but that comes from personal development. And not only will it benefit your business, not only will it benefit, your confidence, but I'm telling you, your intimate relationships, your friendships, your relationship with your family, your work life, everything will improve if you start devoting time to learning about you, what makes you tick, and how to be the best version of you. Find your tribe. And that doesn't mean necessarily within your downline. I know for me, a lot of my success comes from someone who pushes me, and that's Jen, that's Morgan, and that's Nicole. These people constantly are like, here's what we can do. How can we level up? What can we do to, really improve our businesses and make this better for our teams? Surround yourself with people that are going to push you, not let you settle. Let's be with someone who is going to encourage you to go for that lofty, crazy goal. Don't be with someone who says, yeah, like whatever, who cares, because the people you surround yourself with are who you become. So really, really take that to heart and make sure you make that decision very, very wisely. And then make mistakes often, like all the time. Change how you invite people, send voice notes, change how your whole invite process, change your entire way of speaking to people, experiment with everything, try everything until you find something that clicks and you're like, yes, that's how it works for me. Because I can't tell you how to invite somebody because I don't know the verbiage that you use. I don't know the language that you use. You need to do that for you and you need to experiment because honestly, if you go back and every one of these coaches on this call will tell you that the list will be this long, like, oh my God, the challenge group comes with a yellow container and a purple container and a blue container, and this one does this and this one does that. And it's like, oh my God, what was I doing? But that's how I learned. That's how I honed my perfection, or my craft was really practicing and failing. Because I don't know if any of you guys watched or were at Summit, and I believe it was Darren Hardy who talked about the pendulum of success and how it has to swing over to massive failure in order for it to swing over to massive success. Because if you only give it this momentum, you get a little bit of failure, a little bit of success, a little bit of failure. That doesn't work, right? If you want that massive success, you've got to be okay with failing a ton. And that's something I'm now comfortable with. I used to be kind of a perfectionist and I wouldn't try things if I knew I would fail or I wouldn't do it perfectly. So getting comfortable with failing will definitely help your business. What am I at here? Minute 41 on my timer. Okay. I'll let Nicole go. How about we let Nicole go now? Does that work? They said 10 minutes left on the call. So maybe I'll let Nicole go.
I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Okay. That's my advice. Nicole will give you everything else you need to know.
Well, first of all, hi guys. And it's super hard to follow both these women because, look at who we're talking to. These girls are top-notch coaches. And if you follow their pages, super inspiring. So I think that's just it. You have to learn to figure out your vibe and who are you looking for. It's going to be somebody like you. And so for me, when I was starting, I really had no idea what I was doing. I'm a mom of 3. I'm 39. I'm in a very different bracket than the other girls you've heard speak here. I actually really like my career. It's just a fee-for-service kind of job. I'm a physiotherapist, and I'm like Kirsten where there's a cap. I only get a certain amount of money, and I have to actually be there physically to make money. So after having my 3 kids, my paychecks dwindled a ton. And all of a sudden, a career I loved that was super successful financially felt unsatisfying and unrewarding. And we were really living paycheck to paycheck. So when I decided to become a coach, it was partly financial. I was super motivated to make a difference in my family. And my goal was $200 to $400 a month. Okay, that's what I wanted to make with this. And I thought, that'll be great if I can just buffer some of those things in our lives that are causing me a bit of mom guilt. So for me, I joined a challenge group out of necessity. After having my twins, I was struggling majorly with my weight, and this was not a new thing in my life. I'd always struggled. I lost 30 pounds in 3.5 months doing 21-day fix, and I was shouting it off from the rooftops, okay? I, honest to God, referred so many people to my coach. I think it was actually 8. And then I started to wonder, why in the world am I not doing this? But I was afraid of what others would think. I'm a medical professional. If you looked at my Facebook pre-coaching, it was all about my kids. I was not in any of my pictures. I'd never taken a selfie before. I'm still terrible when it comes to things like computers and texting. It's not my generation, honest to God. I am not good at these things. But if I, led with that, I would not be where I am today with this business. And so I dove in. I didn't waste too much time learning. I did spend time learning, but I spent more time putting into action. And I'm reading the book right now, Failing Forward, which is an old school book by John Maxwell that you should all read. And it really is just about trying. You have to try and learn from your mistakes. And so reaching out to people, I did that as of month 1. I reached out to strangers. So it's been 2 years since I've been a coach. It was 2 years last month, actually. And I have created a successful business. And it's been, a genuine business out of love and wanting to help people because I know the struggle. And sometimes, I get really caught up in the Beachbody rules and I make people buy challenge packs when they only want to buy DVDs or just get BOD. And I have to sometimes bring myself back to where I was 2 years ago. And I was that girl who didn't buy a challenge pack. It took me forever to buy Shakeology. And finally, I fell in love with it once I started using it. And so that's it. You have to give people time. You have to be patient, very, very patient with this journey. And I think when I signed up to coach, if I had known I actually had to recruit a team, I probably wouldn't have done it. So that's a frightening thing, right? To think that anyone else is going to want to do this with you when you have no idea what the heck you're doing. But I just kind of casually brought it up to my challengers because I knew I could sell some challenge packs. I had amazing results. Being proof of the product makes your job a million times easier. And then trying to get them to coach, if you actually enjoy coaching, and that is very observant, like if they're really aware that, yeah, you actually like this job and you're quite committed in your challenge groups and posting on Facebook about it, they're going to be attracted to that and want to know what you're up to and be a part of that. So I think, creating this environment that people want to join your team is an important thing. And even before I had a team, I was doing that. I branded us. I was talking about joining my team, and there was 4 of us on the team, and we were just changing lives everywhere. And sure, we weren't even all hitting Success Club probably, but I was just shouting it out with excitement and passion, which I still do to this day. And I think that attracts a lot of people. And so you have to just shut the blinders of all the people giving you opinions and looks up and down about what you're doing and just do your thing. One of my neighbors who's very successful and has a wonderful, beautiful life, and I will say has created a beautiful life where she only works 3 days a week. She came over on a play date soon after I was a coach, and I felt really embarrassed about what I was doing and what she'd be seeing on social media from me. And I said to her, you know what, you can just unfollow me or unfriend me on Facebook because I'm just doing this whole new thing. And she kind of laughed, and then she said, you know what, I like it. I like the recipes you're sharing. I'm going to follow along. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm not offending anyone. You know, take it or leave it. She still wanted to follow along. And guess what? Maybe like a year after that, she joined me and bought a challenge pack. So, you know, everybody's watching. Don't be so worried about what others are thinking. Do your thing. And for me, I had major motivation. I have 3 kids and I hate living paycheck to paycheck. As they get older, they're only 3 and 6, but as they get older and I have to pay for all these sports and activities I want them in, it just shows me how important this job is to me. And so I do treat it as a business that I invested $100,000 into, not that I pay $20 a month for. There is no way in hell you will see me miss a month of Success Club because that's my job. And I kind of like that in the first of every month we get to start fresh. Some months are easier, some months are harder, but guess what? August 1st, we get to start all over again and sign 5 people up. It's not hard. You get to think of those 5 people where you were at when you first signed up. Look at what you went through and the changes you made through your fitness journey. So I think if you treat those 5 people that you're trying to help every single month as a goal to get that feeling that you got, it's going to make your job easier. And now there's tons of network marketers online, and you've all gotten those messages from Roden and Fields or It Works or whatever that feel so icky because you don't know them, and you don't want to be that person, right? So get to know them, offer for group, do whatever you can do to get to know them without being pushy, salesy. That is gross. We all hate that. And I don't think Beachbody has that reputation, but we don't want to be that team that creates that, right? So you want to be investing time and you want to get to know the person and you want to put it out there publicly about what you're doing. And so there has to be coaching behavior or coach life posts every day so that people can see, oh, this is a business that she is 100% in. And I think you have to breadcrumb that slowly on your page. Not every post is going to be join my team, but you need to celebrate what you're doing as a coach and that sense of purpose you have as a coach. Who wouldn't want that? You know, a lot of people who are my age have jobs that they actually hate. They go to work, they make their money, they come home, they hate going to work. Sunday night is the worst time because they have to go to work tomorrow morning. I have to go too still. I still work. But the thing is, I don't feel so in debt, I guess, to my boss at the clinic where I work. I'm a physiotherapist, right? And so the National Wake Up Call last week by Lindsay Martin, she nailed it for me when she talked about when you're working for yourself, you have to work 10 times harder than when you're working for someone else. And, you know, my boss, I've worked with him for 10 years and I've seen him, you know, buy the house in Bearspaw, which is the fancy part of Calgary. I've seen him buy the Beamer. I've seen him buy the house in the States to go skiing every weekend. And it's like, I am supporting his dreams. I am getting him to all these places. And you know what? Sorry, it's time for me and my dreams. So I put more time into my Beachbody business. I've cut back at the clinic. I thought when the twins would be going into grade 1, which is a few years still, that I would go back full time there. And now there's no way I will do that. I have learned that this is my opportunity and this is a way for me to offer to my children and my family some of the dreams that I want us to have. And whether that's paying for hockey, which by the way at age 6 is $1,000, okay, or swimming lessons, or just a trip with my family. Getting on a plane as a family of 5 is very expensive. And these are things I want to give my kids. And I was lucky enough to be raised in a way where I had all this opportunity. And I guess I didn't realize how much sacrifice it probably took from my family. So, you know, having my kids watch me work a little bit, they know about Beachbody. They also know what is coming for them because of it. They're all going to Mexico with me in April next year because I work Beachbody for them, not to be away from them. And so I want them to enjoy some of the rewards. And I think that's it. You have to get your family on board, your spouse. You have to communicate with your partner about what your ambitions and goals are with this job. And so Martin and I have, you know, a great relationship with work-life balance where he knows I have to get stuff done. And when we're running errands out in the car, guess what? He always drives because I'm always on my phone trying to get some work done. And I do work in pockets of time where I work in the morning, I work at night, but throughout the day, if there's a free moment when the kids are playing or I'm prepping supper, I will message people. I will do a quick live video on my team page. So you have to figure out your balance, but you have to be open with your family about what your goals are. And then the other thing is the mindset again. Personal development. From month 1 for me, I dove in and I haven't looked back. I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly listening to calls that help motivate me that I can learn from, like Lindsay Martin. That was an amazing call. And she nails it where she's not focusing on looking at her coach online office. What should you be doing? You should be inviting people. And if your business hasn't grown and you're not inviting people, what can I say? You need to talk to people, right? And Kristen talked about that and Virginia talked about that. You have to talk to people and you have to be genuine and you have to actually want to help them. And I've had 3 coaches quit who've rejoined me within the past year. And it's just because they've been watching and now the time is right and they're ready for them. And I think that's it. You have to be 100% committed. You can't be wishy-washy on what you do. And if you post 3 times a day on social media, but you invite no one, your business will not grow. And if you hit Success Club 10 every single month, but you do not recruit any coaches, your income will not grow. And sorry to tell you that, but recruiting is part of this job. And it's not hard if you give them the belief and the tools to help them run a business as well. So I think that's just it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to talk to people. You have to invite them. You have to recruit coaches or you'll never be making $1,700 a week, which is what I make right now on average. And my biggest paycheck was $2,400 1 week, which was amazing. You know how good that felt? My checks at the clinic are terrible compared to that. So just FYI, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of helping in your downline. Sometimes maybe inappropriately, I reach out down below to the coaches in my downline trying to help them because getting them going is success for them and it's success for us, right? We're a huge team. It doesn't really matter. You're all on the same track. You're all trying to help people. And I think that's it. Just keep your focus on those things. Be committed every single month. Hit Success Club 10. Be committed in recruiting coaches, whatever that number may be, whether it's 1 coach a month or it's 6 coaches a month. Try and hit that number and at least be inviting to it. Because if you're not inviting, you'll certainly not hit it. And then really being passionate about what you do. Why are you doing this? Sit back and look at it and what do you want from this business? So those are my tips. I'll hand it back to Morgan, I guess.
Oh, so good. Kirsten or Virginia, did you want to add anything else? Sorry, Kirsten, I rushed you. You can cover your last point now. I usually keep the free account, so I actually make us shut up, but it was so good. I'm I got to upgrade, so we're unlimited.
I pretty well covered everything. The only thing I didn't cover was we're all busy. So get over you being busy. We're all busy. Wake up earlier, stay up later, sacrifice. I don't play slow pitch anymore. You want to know why? Because I'm building my business and I can't play slow pitch anymore. And on days like today, I'm grateful that I don't play slow pitch. It's so dang hot. And that someone somewhere is busier than you and they're making this work. Whenever I think oh man, I'm busy, I always think of Nicole. I'm I ain't busy. She's got 3 kids and she's working part-time. I'm good. I can do this. So just know someone somewhere busier than you is making this work. And other than that, just love this business inside and out and start believing in yourself. And the moment that you do is when you're going to grow. And just love your team, love your challengers, put your heart into your challenge groups. Make it your mission to branch off, because I felt like my business grew when I was you know what? I'm not adding to Morgan's sneak peek anymore. I'm running my own sneak peek. Or you know what, Jen, let's partner up and do sneak peeks because we see each other every month. So let's do that. Or maybe, you know what, I'm going to do new coach training. I have made countless new coach trainings over the years, and I made a brand new one yesterday. I made a YouTube series of it. And I'm always changing, always adapting, always growing, but you got to branch off and do your own thing. Not right at first. Chill. If you just signed up, that's okay. You can learn, take your time. But there's going to come a point where you're going to know, you're I'm ready for this. I'm ready to jump off this mountain and just sail for it. I can do this. But you have to stop letting someone hold your hand, or stop thinking that you can't do this on your own, because you can. And I'm not saying I don't need Morgan, because Lord knows there are times when I need her more than ever, but she will instill in me that I already know what I'm doing, that you got it. You don't need me to tell you what to do. And I think that that's powerful, and knowing that you have the answer is what is key.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you so much. So I've got like 2 full pages of notes, and that's the crazy thing, and something I love most about this business, like all of you covered. You know, we were at Tony Robbins together, actually. I was with Kirsten and Virginia, and one of the main things he covered was the reason a lot of people aren't happy is because they stop growing, they stop learning, they stop failing. They get a job, they have their family, and they just go through the days. Every single day is the same, and that totally depletes your happiness. And this business, I feel like I'm in my 4th year, and literally I feel like I'm learning things. Even on this call or at Summit this year, I learned so much that I'm just mind blown. This 2018, I think, is going to be the biggest year for our team, for my business, because I've learned more, I've grown more. And, you know, like, Kirsten mentioned the degree. It's like when I jumped into this too, that's how I thought. I went to school to be a teacher for 5 years. I paid countless amounts of dollars and put in countless time, and, you know, came out with it. So if I could just dedicate, you know, that time to Beachbody, my gosh, I still, you know, I've only been in it for 4 years. I can't imagine one more year what I would learn and then become a Beachbody coach, right? Like, we just have this blessing. And I think one of the biggest things I learned was, and I try and instill this in new coaches too, is accepting what chapter you're on and never comparing it to somebody else's chapter. So you might see Kirsten or Virginia or Nicole and a little bit of you. I know this is how I am, like, oh, frig, I wish I was where they're at, you know, like that little bit of angriness, you wish you were there. But I want you to get off this call and sit back and look at where you are in your business. Maybe you're brand new, maybe you're 2 years in, accepting where you're at in your business, where you're at in your life, and being excited to move forward, being excited for where you're going to be, you know, 5 years down the road. And that was an important lesson for myself, because I'm not a full-time coach. To be honest, you know, I say I am because I'm not teaching anymore, but I work our store a lot of hours every single day. So sometimes I used to get frustrated because my success partners were a lot of full-time coaches, and they brought home their husbands, and everything's fine and dandy, and they're working all day long. And, you know, I had to accept where I was at, how I was growing my business for where I'm at right now. And, you know, I love where I'm at. And Kirsten really hit it on the nose with taking action more, because that was the bubble I personally got into too. So she pretty much hit it on the nose for me there too, putting the blinders on and more action. So it is 8:45, you guys. So we're going to wrap up. Give me a hand up, fist pump, whatever. Was that super helpful? Are you glad we invited you? Yes. Okay, awesome. And just know that whenever you become a Diamond coach, you are going to get added into our little Facebook group that we have for our Diamond and above coaches, where we chat back and forth and hop on one of these calls every single month too. So whenever that happens for you, make sure, you know, you let us know. We'll add you in there, so you can be in there with us too. So thank you so much for taking time out of your night to be with us. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Nicole. I've learned insane amounts from all 3 of you. When I signed up on July 23rd of 2013, I never knew this was possible. And like they mentioned, it's a little bit random. You never know who's going to come into your life. You never know who's going to become a coach and absolutely rock it. The people who I thought would, didn't, and the people who I thought there's no way ended up doing, you know, incredible. So you just never, ever know. Success comes to the ones that are in it for the long run, because you just never know when it's going to happen. So Thank you, you guys. I love you. Have an unreal night. And I'll get this recording up overnight because my Wi-Fi is not the strongest here in Melville. And I'll share it with you guys tomorrow. We'll see you later.